Today our topic is the problem of evil. Can it ever be solved? The problem of evil is one of the oldest and most difficult questions in philosophy, religion, and even everyday life. It asks why there is suffering, pain, and injustice in the world, especially if there is a God who is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good. How can evil exist in a world created by such a being? Or if there is no God, why does evil happen at all? This question has troubled thinkers for centuries, and while we may never fully solve it, we can explore it and learn from it. First, let's define what we mean by evil. Evil can be divided into two main types: moral evil and natural evil. Moral evil is the suffering caused by human actions, like wars, violence, or cruelty. Natural evil is the suffering caused by nature, like earthquakes, diseases, or tsunamis. Both types raise difficult questions. Why do humans hurt each other? Why does nature sometimes cause so much pain? One of the most famous responses to the problem of evil comes from religion, particularly in the context of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. These religions believe in an all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good God. But if God is so powerful and good, why does he allow evil? One answer is the idea of free will. Free will means that humans have the ability to make their own choices, even if those choices lead to evil. Without free will, we would be like robots, programmed to always do good. But with free will, we can choose to do good or evil. This explains moral evil, but what about natural evil? Some say that natural evil is a result of the world being imperfect, or that it serves a greater purpose, like teaching us resilience or compassion. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers another way to think about evil. The Stoics believe that the world is governed by reason, and that everything happens for a reason, even if we don't understand it. They taught that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. For example, if someone hurts us, we can choose to be angry or to forgive. If a natural disaster strikes, we can choose to despair or to help others. The Stoics believed that by focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can find peace even in a world full of evil. Another perspective comes from atheism, which says that there is no God, and therefore no higher power to blame for evil. In this view, evil is simply a part of life. It happens because of natural processes, human mistakes, or random chance. While this might seem depressing, it can also be empowering. If there is no God to fix the world, it is up to us to make it better. We have the responsibility to reduce suffering, fight injustice, and create a better future. Some philosophers argue that evil is necessary for good to exist. Without darkness, we would not appreciate life. Without pain, we would not know joy. Without challenges, we would not grow stronger. This idea is called the contrast theory. It suggests that evil and suffering are not meaningless. They help us understand and value the good in life. For example, if we never experienced hunger, we would not appreciate food. If we never faced difficulties, we would not develop courage or wisdom. Another approach is to accept that we may never fully understand why evil exists. The world is complex, and our minds are limited. Sometimes, the best we can do is to live with uncertainty and focus on what we can do to make a positive difference. This doesn't mean we should stop asking questions or seeking answers, but it does mean we should not let the problem of evil paralyze us. So can the problem of evil ever be solved? The answer depends on what we mean by solved. If we mean finding a perfect explanation that satisfies everyone, then probably not. But if we mean finding ways to cope with evil and reduce its impact, then yes, we can make progress. We can learn from philosophy, religion, and science. We can develop empathy, kindness, and resilience. We can work together to create a world with less suffering and more justice. In the end, the problem of evil is not just a theoretical question, it is a practical challenge. It asks us how we will live in a world where bad things happen. Will we give in to despair, or will we find meaning and purpose? Will we blame others, or will we take responsibility? Will we focus on the darkness, or will we look for the light? These are questions we must answer for ourselves, not just with our minds, but with our hearts and our actions. One thing is certain, we cannot eliminate all evil from the world, but we can choose how we respond to it. We can choose to be kind, even when others are cruel. We can choose to be brave, even when we are afraid. We can choose to hope, even when things seem hopeless. And in doing so, we can make the world a little better, one small act at a time. The problem of evil is not just about understanding why bad things happen. It is about deciding what kind of people we want to be in the face of those bad things. It is about finding strength in our weaknesses, light in our darkness, and hope in our struggles. It is about realizing that while we may not have all the answers, we do have the power to make a difference. So, can the problem of evil ever be solved? Maybe not in the way we expect. But by facing it with courage, compassion, and wisdom, we can find a way to live with it and even rise above it. And that in itself is a kind of solution.